Welcome back to UICFlames.com. We're here with head baseball coach Mike Dee. And Coach, today is the first day of practice, and you've been at this a long time, but I'm sure there's still some excitement about getting out there for the first day and coaching your guys.
Well, there's no question. I mean, we're 3 weeks away from playing and playing one of the best teams in the country, and I think we're all excited about that challenge, and we've been really fortunate with the weather. I mean, we're going to be able to be outside, and it looks like we're going to be able to be outside for a couple of weeks, which is a first for us. We've never been able to be outside on a field for a day, let alone for an extended period of time before we've played our first game. So I think we're all excited about what that's going to potentially mean for us, and the kids have worked really hard, and I think we're in a really good place in terms of health and development. So it'll be interesting to see how we progress here in the next 3 weeks.
Absolutely. Now you have 3 seniors on this year's team, and Hoffman, Heaslip, and Salemi, and they're all pitchers. And what do you look to get out of these guys in terms of leadership and then production?
Well, we've got a little bit different model of leadership here. We really believe strongly that everybody contributes to that. You like to have seniors because they're the most experienced, and these 3 guys have a lot of that. But we're going to be a team that's going to have to rely on 25 guys. We're going to, on the pitching staff, for example, there's going to be guys that are going to probably go out there 40 or 45 times for very specific roles during the course of a game, and that sort of thing. So we think we've got great leadership here. We've got great chemistry. Our kids really genuinely respect and like each other and push each other. So it really doesn't fall on just one person here, which isn't to say that those 3 guys aren't good leaders. It's just they're part of the puzzle.
Sure. Now you graduated kind of a record-setting core group of guys last year in Cerna, Leonard, Gannick, and McGuigan. Talk about some of the guys that you expect to step up and fill the holes that those guys left behind.
Well, it's funny. I mean, every year you lose players, and your thought at the end of the season is, boy, I don't know how we're going to replace those guys. And yet, we have players that have been working behind them for a number of years, and unless you have to replace that guy with a freshman, which we don't have to do, your makeup is a little bit different. You've got to do some things a little bit differently as a group. Which isn't to say I wouldn't love to have those 4 guys still here, but I really like our team. I really think our team is a lot more balanced. We aren't reliant on 3 or 4 players like we were maybe a year ago, and so we miss them. But I think this team's got a chance to be very good, and what's really great about it is we are only going to graduate 3 kids off this group. So, we're looking down the road and saying, boy, if we can get this figured out this year, certainly the last half, the last month, we've got a chance to be very good, and then, next year's got a chance to be even better.
Absolutely. And talk about the newcomers. You brought in a nationally recognized group, some calling it one of the best in the Midwest, and Talk about that group of 14 guys, mostly freshmen with some junior college guys as well.
Well, we brought in a big group, and we did that really to provide depth and mostly to provide competition on a day-to-day basis. One of the things that we felt was a weakness for us the last few years was that because we didn't have a lot of depth, there wasn't the pressure on a player day after day after day to compete, and that's just human nature. And these kids have come in and done a phenomenal job of adapting very quickly. And usually, when you bring in a class like that, after 5 or 6 months, you're starting to think, geez, we might have made a mistake on 1 or 2 of these guys, and that's absolutely not the case. Now, some of them are going to redshirt because they're just not going to get any playing time. But they're very, very good players, and fact, in this next recruiting class, we're not even really recruiting position players. So I feel really, really good about those kids. They've matured at a much faster rate than, let's say, a normal class, and they've added physical ability that we really need, and makes us feel good about the future.
Yeah. And finally, Coach, going into the first official practice, what do you look for, say, in the first week or two of those first group practices when everyone's together?
Well, you're starting to work as a group now, and so now you're starting to put some systems in that require, pitchers working with infielders and that sort of thing, and that generally, takes a little bit of time. But in terms of the individual skills, I think the position players and Sean and Stephen Hummel, they've done a phenomenal job of getting those guys ready, and I think the pitching staff is a lot further along than we normally are at this point. So, tomorrow we're going to go out and play, and which again is just a remarkable opportunity for us, and I'm excited to see what that is, and see how that looks, and it'll give us a better sense of what we need to do to go forward. And it's a completely different animal from competing inside of a cage. So really we've got a plan for tomorrow, and I think one of the things that you do as you get older as a coach is, instead of planning every minute for 3 weeks, you're much more laid back in the sense that we're going to see what tomorrow brings, and then we'll make an adjustment for Saturday. But we're excited about tomorrow. There's no question about it.
Absolutely. Well, thank goodness for Mother Nature providing you with this warm weather, and thank you for your time, Coach, and we'll check back in with you before you guys head to Texas A&M.
Okay, great. Thank you.